Hey, awesome ph360 peeps. Thank you for coming back again. And we have been having the best time in this discovery series. Thank you so much for being here. We have been through all of the information of ph360. Well, I mean, as much as we can do in an hour at a time. But we went all the way through the profile in number 1. Number 2 was all about food with Daniela Remy. And number 3, we got to learn all about the science behind ph360 with Diana Anderson. Number 4 was an amazing journey through all of the areas, the mind, the social, the talents, and how those are so important and vital to integrate into your ph360 with Rebecca Morrison, and now, and then Diana and the biotypes, and now we're on with our infamous CEO and founder and leading inspirator. I guess that's not really a word, but I just made it up. Matt Riemann. Hi, Matt.
Hey,
welcome.
Hey, Jules. How are you? It's great to be here and really enjoying everything about what you guys are up to at the moment. So thank you so much for this amazing discovery series. And I really hope that everybody's had the opportunity to look at all the different sessions so far. If not, please go back and check them out, and really looking forward to sharing a lot more about ph360 with you guys today. So thanks for having us here, Jules.
Yeah, that's great. So Matt, I just wanted to start this out. If you could share, like, I'd love to hear something that new that people may not know about you, but some, like, kind of give a little background on you, and then maybe just like, why ph360?
That's a great question, Jules. And I think one of the big things that we're more understanding these days is a lot more about how different we all are and how unique everybody is. And this is something where I initially, back about 8 years ago now, about 9 years ago actually, I woke one day in excruciating pain. I could not breathe and could not move. And at the time I was extremely healthy, or what I thought was extremely healthy. I was going to the gym regularly. I was surfing. I was riding my bike all day, every day. I was treating Olympic athletes and politicians and high-level entrepreneurs in a great job. I was really, what I would call and what I'd class as the epitome of health. And the fact that I just woke up one day and couldn't breathe and couldn't move was really, it was a huge shock to me. I literally thought, I don't know what's going to happen here. I thought I was having a heart attack. And it really does stop you in your tracks and has you, and enables you to think quite clearly and revisit everything that you think you know and everything you need to know. And that really kickstarted a lot of the journey into ph360. There's a lot of things and concepts we're working on for many years before that, but this was a really big kickstart to go and connect with a lot of international people and experts in their field, in science, in medicine, researchers, health ambassadors, to really bring together what we know about ph360 today. And what ph360 is really just a way that you can actually understand more about what your body needs at this point in time. It's actually a way that your body can talk to you, without well, hopefully I'll share a little bit about what's coming in the future. But at the moment, it's a way that your body can talk to you without actually even having a physical conversation. It's not this crazy platform of this fandangled stuff. All it is just information about you, about your eye color, your hair color, your finger length, your wrinkles, if you have any. It's just information about you right at this point in time. And then it calculates what your body status is in terms of health, in terms of organ function, in terms of hormones, in terms of brain regions, in terms of all the stuff that's been covered so far in the Discovery series. And it'll actually just talk to you, and it'll be able to share with you who you are. And that's all it is. It's about understanding who you are and what's right for you at this point in time to be happy and healthy. And this incorporates lots of things that you see in there. We talk about the 6 main areas of life, or main epigenetic areas, so things outside of our genes that can actually determine the way our genes are activated. And these are in the foods, in the exercise, in our climate and our environment, which we call place in the section, about the friends that we hang out with, our social interactions, about our natural talents, and about the way our mind works. And it really is a powerful place to be in at this space and time in 2015 to really understand how all these things integrate with each other and how dynamic we are as human beings. The fact that there's always a constant balance between what we put in our mouths and how much sleep we get, and the people we hang out with and how much stress we're under at work. And there's always these ever-going adjustments that happen in our body. And our gene expression, or which genes we have switched on and off, changes in as little as 20 minutes, changes regularly, or less than that, in fact, all the time. And so we're now understanding that it's our environment and our lifestyle, all these things around us, and the stuff we put in our mouth, the way we move or don't move, who we hang out with, what we like to do, how much we laugh, how much we sleep, all these things are now the things that determine which genes we have switched on and determines our health. And so what ph360 is just a way that we can actually understand about this, and a way our body can talk to us and share with us what we need to do to be in that space of health. So it's a really exciting point in time to be here, being able to share this platform and this concept with people, and we're really excited about it. And as you know, Jules, my life is just literally traveling around the world sharing the knowledge about personalized health with people, and how we now have the information available to find out what's right for us to be happy and healthy.
That's true. I know that. You know, a lot of people have heard our mission. The mission of that, our mission is to eliminate pain and disease on the planet by 2050. But can you elaborate a little bit about what that actually means and why that mission?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're sitting in a very interesting space and time, Jules, and I guess how can we actually achieve that is the first question that comes to most people's mind. It's too ambitious, it's too difficult, but actually it's not. It's if you stand in 2050 and you look backwards, all we need to do is actually prevent disease from happening in a generation before, and then we don't have any pain or disease that exists. And so we're really working hard. We've got 35 years left that we're rolling out with, on this plan. We've got a couple of generations that we're looking at to making sure we can be really effective in understanding about the concepts of personalized health, about the concepts of all these things in our environment and lifestyle that actually influence who we are, so that we can actually move towards that space in a couple of generations' time and really achieve that point. And there's a couple of different angles we need to consider. The first angle is obviously the place in the conversation about prevention. And that was how ph360 was originally designed, is to say, how can we help people understand what's going to be the best things to keep them healthy and avoid disease from coming? And that's the concept of personal health 360. The second part of that conversation is, what about for the people who are already suffering from pain and disease? How do we cure, or how do we reverse, or how do we start to help people heal from that particular place that they're in? And so that's a different conversation that we're having, and we're finding amazing stories all around the world with ph360 of people reversing all their signs and symptoms and healing themselves from diabetes, from heart disease, from arthritis, from chronic pain, headaches, from insomnia. There's just not to mention digestions and sleep and energy levels and chronic fatigue and all these sorts of things. So we're really excited about it. In fact, we're doing a lot of clinical research and studies internationally with a lot of medical doctors and organisations looking now at ph360 as a tool to help reverse chronic disease states. And it's really exciting. We're really excited about the outcomes of these studies, where we'll be able to have a great conversation about how this information can actually help change people's lives, from an independent research perspective. We already know it exists, and we already know it works, but we're really excited about this third-party independent validation of ph360. And again, ph360 isn't this crazy new tool or program that exists that's a new diet or a new fad. All it is just information from your body talking to you. That's it. That's all it is. It's just saying, cool, this is what my body needs. It's like your intuition. It's like an electronic version of your intuition about what should I do right now? Well, this is the best thing for me to do right now. It really is just understanding just so tangibly what's really good for us. And so our mission is very large. Our mission is big, and this is something, I guess, with my journey, I've always been inspired and pushed, if you like, energetically, given a kick up the butt to continue to do bigger things on a bigger way. And I always spent my life helping people. It's who I am. It's how I've grown up, and I really put that down a lot to my family circumstances. Growing up, I still have the most amazing family that are just so loving and supportive and nurturing and caring, and it's really just encouraged me to be who I am and always help people. It's how we've always approached the world and approached any relationships or any people. And that's something I've grown up my whole life, just helping people, from a treatment perspective and with their health. And I've personally been involved in now over 100,000 people's lives personally, which has been great. I've been doing this for quite a long time now. I lost my hair when I was younger, so I have been doing this for quite a long time. But it really now is trying to answer a question: how can we do this in a much larger scale? I have a lot of gifts to be able to help a lot of people personally in a session if I can engage with them personally. But how do we actually make a huge difference to billions of lives? This isn't about millions, this is about billions. And there's over 3 billion people as we speak right now suffering from chronic pain and disease in the world. It's not right, it's not normal. It shouldn't be the case, and it doesn't need to be the case. We have information now that can change that, and all we are doing here is just trying to share that information with everybody. And if we can help everybody understand just the basic things as to what makes them happy and healthy, then the world is a completely different place. And that's our mission, and that's what we're here to do. And I'm really excited to be able to do this in a way, with a platform like ph360, where we can actually answer the questions. The two big questions that we're trying to answer is, how can we make this accessible and affordable for everyone in the world? And when we first started, as you know, Jules, when we first started, this was tens of thousands of dollars to bring all these experts in together to talk about one person's health. It's the initial assessments were 8 hours, and it's or more, and it was a very lengthy, very expensive process to do. We now have this down, and we're so proud of this, to have this down into a format where anyone can access this information, anyone in the world, from the comfort of their own home in 30 minutes. You can know all this information, and at the moment, this space in time, I think it's less than $200 a year. The cost of you literally going for one doctor visit or two doctors visit, depending on where you live in the world, you can know everything about yourself and what you need to be happy and healthy. So we're just so very proud of what we've been able to achieve. In total, we've been working for over 10 years on this, and it's a really exciting point in time to be able to share this information with the world. And for those listening in, we really encourage you to be able to share this information with your friends and family and loved ones that need it most. And we're really excited that you're here, part of our community, because this is a community. We look at this as a family that's really starting a new conversation about health and helping other people, be aware of the fact that this information now exists for them to transition their lives. So thanks so much for the opportunity of this Discovery series, Jules, and I'm really excited to be able to share as much as we possibly can with everybody.
I know, thanks for taking time out of your schedule. I know you're really busy because you've been interviewing experts in all areas of life and personal health for the last week in the summit. And I know we're going to have those replays on our YouTube channel so people can watch them in the future. So don't worry if you're hearing this and you didn't know the summit was going on. Matt's been interviewing amazing people. I mean, total celebrity health people, doctors, all sorts of things. They're amazing. And so you definitely want to check that out. But one of the things that I've been listening, like I can't get enough of this, right? I've been listening to the talks, and people have been talking about epigenetics and, kind of the relationship between diet and food, and everybody's so focused on diet and food. But what kinds of things were you guys talking about in the summit this last week with the epigenetic factors?
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up, Jules. And we are midway. We've got 2 weeks of this personalized health summit that we're doing. So if this is the first time you've heard about it, please go and visit onlinehealthsummit.com and register there. It's 100% free. I'm interviewing 30, or actually over 30, of the world leading experts in the areas of personalized health, with exercise, with nutrition, with sleep, recovery, mindfulness, consciousness, happiness, compassion, integrated medicine, world health solutions. We're even talking about paranormal psychology. So many interesting conversations about all of these things outside or involved in our health. And that really does, I guess it's the essence of what we talk about as epigenetics. So the word epi means outside. So things outside of our genetics that actually determine which things we have, which genes we have activated at that point in time. And so we're having great conversations. We are talking with world leaders about this, Jules, and I really encourage everybody to go and check this out. And please share this with your family and friends. Again, it's 100% free. It's just information for you. Like this Discovery series, it's all about you. That's why we do what we do. We're very, very different to any other organizations that exist out there in the fact that we're just doing this for you. So please share this information. We can all achieve a world free from pain and disease if we work together, but we certainly can't achieve it without you, without each of us sharing this. So thank you in advance for taking the time to share this with your loved ones. And the conversations around epigenetics, Jules, have been really exciting from my point of view. I get a bit excited about epigenetics and science and things like that. I also get excited about the Western conversations about genetics and about molecular biology and all these great things, but I get very excited about the conversations in the Eastern side of the world as well, about energy medicine, about parapsychology, and about understanding that there's a lot more. We talked with some shaman. It's really understanding this whole picture of the world as we know it. And the epigenetics, the big things that we've talked about is how our environment can influence our health. This is something for my personal circumstances. I moved actually locations from where I used to live when I first experienced my pain, and I moved to the northeast of Australia actually. And that changed my symptoms significantly, almost immediately, from being a change of climate. And this is something that it seems like common sense, but it's information we're now just really starting to harness in science. That means that our climate actually changes who we are. We often know from common sense that for us, we've got the same genes, we're the same person. If we're here at this point in time, wherever you live in the world, if you were in a freezing cold environment right now and it got really, really cold, you'd feel like you need to have, from a food perspective, you need to have some warm soup, something to warm you up. If you're in a really, really hot environment, you need to have like a fresh juice and some water. You're the same person with the same genes, the same everything, except you need such different things. Your body has such different requirements in different climates. And so we're really now understanding a lot about the way that climate influences who we are. And if we're someone who should be in a cooler climate and we're in a hot, humid climate, it's very stressful for our bodies to have to be sweating all the time and start to have to cool down everything else that's going on inside of our internal chemistry. If we're on the opposite and we're someone who should be in a warmer environment more often, and we're living in a cold place in London or Antarctica, whatever it might be, it's very stressful for our body to be cold all the time and have to try and generate heat and warmth for our internal chemistry. And so there's an ideal environment and climate for everybody, and that's really important to understand. And ph360 goes into that in the place section. We even understand a lot more about the concept of chronobiology. And again, I won't talk too much because I know that everybody's covered a lot of science, but looking at the way that our body actually responds throughout different times of the day, the different times of the week, the month, the year, and even when our immune system is going to be at its peak or at its lowest. And so we can understand about that. And in your play section, you'll see where we recommend a great time for vacation. It's a bit of fun that's in there, but it actually correlates with a lot of science. And it shows that that time we recommend you for your vacation will be the time when your immune system's at its lowest. And we recommend that you go to a place that's your ideal climate and environment that can actually help revitalize and rejuvenate your cells and your health so you can avoid any states of disease that may come. So there's a lot of fun things you'll find in ph360 that have a lot of science behind them. And again, it's just information so that we can help you to be happy and healthy. So yeah, lots of great conversations. Please check out onlinehealthsummit.com and share that with your friends so that everybody can benefit. So thanks, Jules. Great question. And I'm really enjoying the conversations about epigenetics in many areas other than just food and the environment. And I know you've asked me an open-ended question, which can be dangerous on an interview like this because I tend to talk a lot about things I'm passionate about. But just to put another couple of quick things in there. So the exercise that we do is really important. So the way that we move our bodies, whether that's you sitting at home right now and really find it hard to do anything apart from breathing. Starting with breathing is so important. It can change huge amounts of biochemistry in your body, in your mind, and your thoughts and your perceptions about your status, which can really influence who you are. We're having some great conversations about that on the summit this last week and coming up next week as well. We're talking a lot about movement. If you even just doing Tai Chi, letting your fascial system and your nervous system flow and move as it needs to. Yoga and Pilates, through to running or marathons or high intensity training, CrossFit. There's so many different types of exercises, and there's a type of exercise that's really right for you. And that's what ph360 can really help with understand. Even if it's from breathing through to running a marathon, there really is some great things that are really helpful for your body, but not just from the old perspective of cardiovascular fitness, like saying, oh, let me do it to lose weight or to build muscle or to tone up. Actually looking at more, ph360 considers about, do you have stiff joints? Do you mobilize? You need to mobilize your nervous system or your lymphatic system. And the exercises and the movements that actually encourages in there takes all that into account. So it's a lot more of a in-depth conversation than just what we used to think of, or we generally still do think of as exercise in most of society. We also talk about a lot this week about stress. And in ph360, we consider that as a huge factor, and the social side of things, which usually correlates to emotional stress, is a huge factor. And we're really helping you understand more about who you are and people that are really going to be aligned with how you're currently thinking. Because when we are around people who think like us in different contexts, then we can be very happy. If we're around people who are very different to us and try and put their thoughts and opinions and beliefs on us, then we can find that really hard to negotiate or hard to integrate with, and we can find that quite stressful sometimes. And so ph360 will help you understand more about the people that you can hang out with that are going to keep you laughing and feeling great, and some of the people who may cause some stress in your situation if you're actually engaging with them in that capacity. And so it really is important to understand that a lot of these things, we can change the way that our mind works and the way that we perceive these relationships, which can alter our stress. But while we're going through and navigating through that, it's really important to understand that there is a very inherent personality that we have. and that, you know, when we find people that we can match with quite well, it really is a great space to be in and can reduce stress almost instantly. And in that, you know, some of the tangible tips we even say, you understand that we act, you know, differently and have different people. So maybe if you're listening to this, you might have, you know, out of your awesome friends group, you might have some people that you like to go shopping with, whereas other people you think, you know, they're my best friends, but they hate shopping, or they'd be the worst people to go shopping with. You might have some friends that love to talk politics, and you might, you know, if you want to have a conversation about politics, you might talk to them, but they might be very different to the people who you go shopping with. You might have someone who you like to talk about deep and meaningful conversations and what's important in life and religion and the meaning of life. And those people may not be the people who like to talk politics or go shopping with you at all. So we've all got these great circles of friends or family or people around us that we can have different conversations with, or do different things, go to the gym with, or, you know, go out for dinner with, or go to the beach with. So take the time to understand more about who you are and how you've got all these amazing people in your networks, and find out where you're compatible with them, and start to spend some more time with them. People who are really compatible or are really positive and can help inspire you, which really completely eliminates a state of stress at any particular point in time. So please take advantage of that section too. And of course, talents just helps you understand more about what you're naturally good at, so that you don't ever have to feel like you're failing at something. If you're a natural artist and a musician, you don't have to feel like you're an accountant and it's so hard and you've got headaches and stress and I just can't do these figures and numbers. It's because it's probably not what you're naturally suited to do. I often use one of the quotes or comments from Einstein that talks about, if a fish was judged by its ability to climb a tree, it would spend its whole life thinking it was stupid, which is really important to understand that, you know, we're not all cut out to do everything. We will have huge amounts of strengths in some areas, and other areas that other people have great strengths in. So it's about connecting with everybody as a whole and as a collective, and finding out how can we actually get our network or all the people around us that have some strengths that we don't maybe have, and all of us working together to achieve a really amazing outcome for whatever we're focused on at that particular point in time in our lives, whether it's family, whether it's work, whether it's, you know, fun and hobbies, whatever it is. It's about understanding, you know, what you're really naturally awesome at, because if you get to wake up every single morning like I do and get to do things that you really, really enjoy and you're really, really passionate about, it doesn't seem like or ever feel like you work a day in your lives. In fact, I think, Jules, you're well aware of the fact that I don't ever feel like I do any work at all. For someone looking from outside, they may say, well, Matt works a lot and does a lot of hours, but for me, it's just my life. I really enjoy every single thing I do. I get to hang out with the most amazing people. I get to have these great conversations, and it's just an amazing life. So, you know, for those that are looking, you know, maybe in a state that they need to, they find that they're in a state of stress, or it's difficult, or what I do for work is hard, and I'm someone who gets up and says, oh, I have to go to work again and can't wait for the weekend. Yeah, maybe it's something you're not suited to what you're doing. Maybe you can really understand some of the insights in ph360, and you can consider if there's any possibility for you to be shifting into something that you really enjoy and you're really passionate about, because that in itself can literally transform your life. So I really encourage everyone to check out that. And finally, of course, one of the most powerful areas, and I talk about this a lot, of the future of health is in the mind. And when we can understand more about the mind and more about who we are, the mind is a very interesting conversation. And I'd encourage you again to check out some of the summit conversations we had, because otherwise I'll be talking here for another 16 days, probably, Jules, on the mind. But it's about really understanding that we have a brain. Our brain's like the chemist in our body, and our brain can mix up all these things and give different signals to our body with a different biochemistry that can exist. So our brain's kind of the boss and the chemist, if you like. But we have our mind that actually talks and interprets a lot of the information that we receive from the world. So our senses, our sight, things we take in, or what we hear, or what we taste, or what we smell, or what we touch, or what we feel, all these senses is taken and interpreted by our mind, and then delivered, I guess, through our nervous system to our brain. And that then delivers the information to our cells, which determines which genes we switch on or off. So it's our perception of the world, like our senses that we bring in. Our mind will help us perceive what's in the world. That's why we can have one event and, you know, many different people will see it or describe it in different ways, because we'll have different minds. It's the same event, you know, it's literally the same thing that happened, but everybody will have their different interpretations and different perceptions of the same event or the same circumstances. Maybe it's a movie everybody watches, and some people say it's the best movie I've ever seen in my life. Other people say it's the worst movie, don't ever waste your time watching it. You know, maybe I often use an example, we can, you know, drop the new iPhone off the table and it smashes, and someone's, you know, super angry because they've just spent all this money on this new iPhone, and someone's super happy because they wanted to get a new Google phone instead of the iPhone anyway. All these events, we have different perceptions in our world, and not just events, but circumstances, people. You know, our mind determines our perception of all these sorts of circumstances or events or people, and then makes up some information that then goes to our brain, which then determines our biochemistry in our body. And so it's really powerful to understand how our mind works, because it means that we now understand all the things that happen in our world is just our perception of what happens in the world. And when we can understand that it's not, it's not just what's happening in the world, it's actually how we choose to perceive what's happening in the world, that's what actually influences our brain and our biochemistry. So to actually change a state of health or remain a state of health, it actually comes down a lot to our mind and how we perceive everything in the world. And the most exciting thing is we can actually change how we choose to perceive everything in the world. And that really starts with a lot of the insights in the mind section, which is really, really empowering. And I'm really excited about us talking a lot more about this in the future, about how we can actually change some of the ways that we see things and how our mind works, to actually change our physical biochemistry and our health status, which is some very new concepts coming out. So bear with me if you're following me, or hopefully you are. But if not, it's a really new, exciting time about understanding the mind, and even understanding about some of the beliefs that we hold, and how our beliefs can actually determine a lot of our emotional response to what happens in the world, and how our emotions can determine a lot about our actions, how we respond, and which is our reality and our health. So a long conversation, Jules, about the mind, but it really is an amazing space to be able to actually bring this information in ph360 to be able to talk about our mind, and for us to be able to even know, for starters, you notice in your questionnaire, you don't answer any questions all about your mind. This is all based on your objective data, based on your gene expression, color of your eyes, texture of your skin, color of your hair. We now can share with you about your mind and about how you may perceive things in the world, so that you can be aware of that, and you can choose to change some ways that you see things, or you can just acknowledge and own that, so that you don't have to respond in the ways that you may have responded negatively, or some emotions that may show up for you. So that is a very long answer to epigenetics, your epigenetics question, Jules, but it really does encompass the whole of ph360, and I'm really excited about the conversations that we're having in this space. So thank you for asking that question. I'm sorry about the long answer.
No, it's all right. That's great, Matt. Thank you. Yeah, that was great. That was for a lot of fun, new information. And, I noticed that you talked a lot about people connecting, and, there's a lot of importance now in this day and age being placed on community and people gathering together. And in fact, I think I heard at least 3 different experts on the panel last week. When you asked them, what did they consider to be the most important factor, it was a resounding, each one of them said it, that it was love. That love trumped fitness, it trumped food, because without that, the person doesn't thrive. And so, I mean, like, how do we incorporate that? What do you see as that being incorporated into what we're creating with ph360?
Yeah, it's a great question, Jules, and this is probably another answer that's going to take about 16 hours for me to get to. But love itself is one of the most important conversations, and it's a very big conversation. It's a scary conversation. It's a difficult conversation, because we still don't understand, what love is so much. And love can be many different things to many different people. Love can be, the passion that we have for our work. I love the job I have. It can be about our family or our friends. I love my mum and dad. I love my partner in a deep way. These are all different types of love. I love hobbies that I do. I love watching sport on TV. I love, the climate. I love the beach. I love the environment. I love the mountains. There's so many different types of love that we associate. So it's a very confusing conversation. I guess at its truest essence, we talk about unconditional love, which again is a very confusing conversation. Without getting into politics and religion too much, it really is. It's been kind of confused a little bit, I believe, over the centuries. Religion, there's been a lot more sort of rules and regulations, if you like, that come into play, that you should do this or you must do that. But I don't think was ever the original meaning or interpretation that was there, and a lot of sort of guilt and shame and those sorts of emotions have come into play, and kind of got confused with love, with the true unconditional love, when it really is all about understanding who we are, and understanding about this whole life is about something that's bigger than us. Whatever your beliefs are, if you believe in yourself, if you believe in God, if you believe in the universe, it doesn't really matter what your beliefs are, because we're all sharing the same common message. There's something greater than just the skin I can touch right here. There's something bigger than all of us, and the fact that we're all connected in some way, shape or form. And we had a really good conversation with the guys with Roland McGrady from HeartMath actually on the summit this week, now looking at the science of how we're connected. And they're measuring the activity in the electromagnetic field in the earth, and they're measuring the human heart, the electromagnetic fields in the heart. And we're now seeing, and this is the scientific data that exists now, that actually shows that people's heart rate variability, which is the change in between their heart rates, actually corresponds with a change in the Earth's atmosphere. And that actually influences people in all different states and parts of the world in a very similar way. And so we're now understanding that. And it's, again, it's some common sense when you think about it in one capacity, and it's very pioneering, groundbreaking in another capacity, that we all accept that the moon, influences the tides that we have. We understand that it's electromagnetic activity that influences our tides. We accept that. We learn it at school, and we go, yeah, cool. That's influenced by things outside of Earth, even change what's in Earth. We understand that, as humans, we have a very strong electromagnetic field that we can measure, and it's very scientific. It's data. It's not talk. It's very objective. And yet we don't think that the moon can influence the whole of our ocean in the world, but it doesn't do anything for us as humans. It's just crazy to think that, oh yeah, we forgot about that. Just some of these common sense things that we just kind of forgot about or haven't really mentioned are now being studied by lots of amazing people around the world. And the science of that's coming out is really interesting and showing that we're actually all connected. This is the science that shows it. Again, science is just explaining what we can't explain, but we understand that we're connected, and most of us who believe in some form of religion or God or universe understand that we're all connected in some capacity, and we feel that we're very connected, and we can maybe be connected to our loved ones. If we're traveling, we can miss them. If we've got a mother that may be away from their child, that they've got a very intuitive sense if they're sick or not. We have a lot of these connections that exist with all of us, and it really comes down to a connection of love, and this concept that we're trying to still understand and explain. But the true nature of unconditional love really underpins everything, and it's really us trying to, at this day and age, trying to get back to meditating more or praying more or being in a space of connection more, to try and experience this unconditional love, and trying to get connected more so with God or whatever your belief system is. But really it's about understanding that we were never actually disconnected from God, because God is within all of us at any particular point in time. And so it's really starting to understand now more about the fact that we actually have all of this inside of us, and we can access this connection outside, but it's actually within us. And starting with a place of self-love, putting the oxygen mask on ourselves first before we put it on other people is really an important concept to understand. And once we can be in that place of love ourselves, then we can start to understand more about this unconditional love for everyone else. And unconditional love actually refers to a concept we know as forgiveness often. And one of the biggest transformations we see in almost every case of spontaneous healing and remission is forgiveness, and a deep-rooted emotional burden that's been lifted from a place of forgiveness that's involved a lot, or transferring and transitioning those emotions. And forgiveness really is, it's more beneficial for the giver rather than the receiver, because it's really just letting go and saying, anything that I believed, any thoughts or beliefs I had about someone else that's dictated my life, or someone else that's responsible for my situation, I'm just going to let that go. And when we can be in a place of forgiveness, it means that we actually are experiencing or sharing unconditional love with this person, saying, even if I believe that they wronged me, I'm now forgiving them, which means that I'm literally cutting off the fact I believe that they wronged me. And so changing that belief changes our mind, changes our emotions, changes our experience in the world, and actually shifts significantly our emotions, which may be stuck from flowing energy in our body that needs to flow, which again is scientifically measured now. And that can actually be a significant way that our biochemistry can change, and we can heal from these miraculous cures that happen. We can heal from these states. So there's a lot of information that I've covered in there, I know, but coming back to understand that love is the most powerful thing that exists, and really explains really the connection between all of us in humanity, is such a powerful understanding. And this is what we're really working towards, is helping humanity reconnect. I guess one of our first conversations that we're having here is eliminating pain and disease from the planet, so we can be in a space to feel like we can love and be grateful for who we are, and experience peace and have all these things show up in our lives. But as we start to become over the coming decades, as we start to become a lot more connected, a lot more without pain and disease, I really believe that we're going to be experiencing a lot more unconditional love as a normal thing in our lives, rather than something where life is busy and we're trying to get just some time in the week to meditate or or engage in prayer to try and achieve something like that. So it's a great conversation for a big event. We could do a whole summit on love, I think, Jules, and we have had some great conversations so far. So that's my 2 bobs worth on love for this talk.
Yeah, that's really awesome, Matt. Thank you. I really see that tied in with our mission, as you said, because once people are free of pain and disease, then they have more ability to love themselves and love others. But like, I'm thinking of love, like this is from my connector viewpoint, right? I think of love as a frequency, or as a kind of a way of being, so that it's little simple acts. It doesn't have to be something big and magnanimous, or something, you know, that sounds so impossible, or something that only Mother Teresa could accomplish. You know, it's like simple things like appreciating people around you, or really acknowledging someone who helps you, like service people, or it could be you know, just doing something out of the way for someone when you see that they're struggling with something. So many times now in our world, we're so busy and so, you know, focused on whatever it is that, you know, we're kind of drumming through life. So it's kind of just taking the time. And when people connect in that way, then that's when they get to have these experiences of, you know, you said that if we eliminate pain and disease, that people will have more ability to love. But the question is, if people were loving more, would that impact their pain and disease? That's a question.
Well, it's the chicken or the egg there, Jules, and I love that you bring that up. And I'm not going to go into that in too much detail because I'll be here forever and ever. But what you share there is so true in the fact that it's, you know, this experience that we have. In fact, you know, one of the greatest displays of love and healing that we can have is not the person who is Mother Teresa that's going around the world and influencing millions of lives. It's the guy in the gas station that just smiles at someone and changes their day, and, you know, allows that person to say, you know, wow, thank you so much. I really appreciate you for who you are, which may change someone's whole thoughts and whole belief patterns and whole perception about themselves, and actually reduce their pain in that moment. You know, just a smile at someone, a simple thank you, a hug, you know, to say thank you so much. I'm so grateful for who you are. To express our love in those ways is so powerful, and you know, we're caught up in the society of how we see the big flashy things as the important things. Not true at all. It's about the little things each and every day that we do for each other that are the most powerful displays of love and healing that exist. So thanks for sharing that concept, Jules. And love certainly does underpin, and this is what, you know, I talk about a lot, is that, you know, love is part of the cure for a lot of disease states that we have. It can influence significantly, can change our whole biochemistry, and can be, you know, responsible for a lot of our spontaneous healing even. This is a really important concept. So we share about when you're in a state of, you know, perfect health, when you're avoiding and you don't experience any pain or disease, it's a lot easier for our human mind and our psychology to be able to actually go, okay, great, well, I'm really grateful now. I'm really happy to share because I'm so lucky. Yeah, we often take for granted our health when we're in a space where we're waking up in pain all the time, or we're sick all the time. It's very difficult to be selfless. It's very difficult to be, you know, gracious. It's very difficult to just love unconditionally. And so, you know, it is the chicken or the egg, but it's all just part of the same conversation. And that's the conversation that we're having right now. So again, thank you all so much for listening into these conversations and for being part of our amazing community and family. And we're looking forward to sharing the happiness with everybody, because that's why we're on this planet in the first place.
Yeah, thank you. That transformation happens just one person at a time, and by connecting. There really isn't any other way. So that's awesome. Thank you, Matt. Okay, so now I've been talking all week, or all weekend, I should say, about you sharing about the ph360i. And that's what I'm hoping that you'll share some of the cool stuff that's coming with the ph360i and what we're up to with that.
All right, cool, Jules. We can do that for sure. I'm really excited about this. Just for starters, it's something that has taken us a very long time to work on. We've still got a bit of work to go, but it's coming, which is great. And we talk about ph360i with the I standing for interactive. And this is what we have always envisaged ph360 being, and we've achieved various, you know, milestones along our journey. For those who are listening right now, you are very aware of what ph360 is. If you haven't already, if you're brand new to this conversation, and you've just signed up, then please, you're in for a great, exciting store. We've got information that's available for you right now to be able to change and transform your health and lives. And we've got thousands of people all over the world that have significantly transformed their health. And we're really appreciative of those that are really committing to changing their health. One of the questions that we've always got in our mind is that, from a psychological point of view, change is difficult for some people. And we actually know with our biotypes which ones are easier, find it easier to change, and which ones find it more difficult to change. We know that me, for example, in my biotype, I think we've talked so far about crusaders and sensors, that they're very logical people. They're, if something needs to change, they'll just change it. So great, as long as you convince me, as long as I know that there's good science, as long as I know there's good reason behind it, as long as I believe what's going here, then I'll do it. I'll drink muddy dam water from the Himalayan mountains if it's going to be curing my state of disease. We'll do these crazy things and we'll commit to it, and we'll just change everything on a dime. Some other people around the other side, like coming more towards the guardians and the connectors, find it a bit more difficult. They need a bit more, they need to feel, it needs to be fun, it needs to be engaging, it needs to be social, it needs to be, all those sorts of things that are going to make a huge difference to be able to change behavior. And that's what ph360i really comes down to, is actually helping with behavior change, helping that to understand that some people just need some information, like more of my biotype just needs the information. Other people need just some motivation and some inspiration. And other people just need to be supported and to be helped to feel love and feel support and compassion. And so we're covering all the different bases here. And the ph360i stands for interactive. It means that it's actually a software that talks to you and engages with you and interacts with you. What this translates to is helping you change your behavior, because you don't have to do, or you won't have to do as much of what we perceive, again, as the hard work, because things are already done for you and thought about for you. Some examples there, for people, maybe it's very difficult to eat the right foods because we've got to go to the shops, and we've got to do all this sort of stuff. We've got to go through and find out what foods are best, and then we have to go through the preparation, and we have to do all these sorts of things. It's very difficult, and we've got other friends around and not really sure what to do. And so we might make a choice to say, what, it's hard for me. What we're doing here is providing an amazing community to help support you and say, no, it's not that hard. Actually, it's a perception that you have. It's very easy to do, and when you do it, you feel so inspired to do it more. But interactive version actually talks to you in advance. So it will be something where it might say, for example, Jules, you'll have your phone, Siri, if you've got a smartphone or whatever it is, that will talk to you and to say, hey, Jules, we noticed the best time for you to be having dinner is in about an hour. Would you like us to go ahead and order for you, or would you like to prepare at home yourself? And you look at your phone and go, well, I'd like to order something out, please. And it will say, great, scanning the local restaurants near you. And it will scan the local restaurants in your area, and it will pick out restaurant X that has the duck salad, restaurant Y has the chicken soup, and restaurant Z has whatever the vegetarian lasagna for you. And so you can say, and it will scan and say, great, here's the local restaurants, which would you like to choose from that? And these will all be ph360 foods that are right for you, all the ingredients that it actually scans through and checks out all the different menus that exist in the local restaurants that are there, and actually has the foods that are listed that are great for you. So all those things that are listed are great foods for you to be eating. And you can go ahead and choose, and then say, you'll choose which restaurant you'd like, and it'll say, great, thanks, Jules. Would you like us to book a table for you? Or would you like us to order takeaway so it can be delivered for you in time for the optimal time for you to have dinner? This is ph360i, so you don't actually even have to think anymore. It tells you in advance when the best time for you to eat is. It automatically brings a whole selection, asks what you want to do. You can book a table for you at the restaurant so you can go and eat out if you want to have a social engagement with friends. If you want delivery to happen, it can deliver it to your door. So you've got the perfect food waiting for you when it's the best time to eat. So this is, and I'll give you a few more examples here, because it's not just about the food, of course, but it's really, really exciting that this technology exists. We're really excited about harnessing a lot of the biotechnology that can bring this information to be able to change and help change our behaviors, so that actually getting healthy and being healthy is easy. In that example that I just used, actually, we're incorporating a lot of the biotechnology that's coming in the future. Some of you guys may have heard me talk about, or heard other people talk about, the future homes that exist. I love talking about the future, just in case you haven't figured that out. The future homes that exist that will have a lot of smart devices. They have smart toilets that actually, we understand more about what the concept we call the microbiome, or our gut, and about a lot of the different bacteria that exist there, and how that can reflect our health. And if we go to the toilet, that's actually the way that you measure the health of your microbiome now as you go to the toilet and you grab your stool sample and send it off and get it measured. Smart toilets means that you actually go to the toilet and it actually measures and identifies all that information in the toilet at that time you go, and you have your data as you go to the toilet. We have smart fridges that exist where it actually knows which foods you have in your fridge. So you may be low on carrots or lettuce or whatever, tomatoes, whatever it might be, and it'll actually be able to prompt and even order for you from the supermarket to be delivered to your house. So you've got the right foods there. So with ph360, as you get to choose, again, as this starts to come in more commonplace in the future, we're very much positioning to be part of that. So your fridge can even talk to your ph360 app. You know how much food you've got in the fridge, and ph360, you might say that you want to prepare your own meal tonight. We'll say, great, based on the foods that you have in your fridge right now, here's the meals that you can create, and come up with a whole host of ingredients and a whole host of menu plans and recipes that you can choose to make yourself at home if you want to cook in or if you're entertaining for guests. So this is really starting to harness the power of the interactive technology that's coming, and it's really, really exciting. In fact, it's pretty mind-blowing actually still as to what we'll be able to achieve with this this concept. So that's an example in the food area. An example in exercise may be a prompt that comes up and says, Jules, it's almost 2 p.m. In the afternoon. We're acknowledging that you need to start moving. We identify that you're currently low in X, Y, and Z, and high in X, Y, and Z. We encourage that you start to move your body at this particular time of day so you can avoid feeling fatigued later on today, and you can make sure that your lymphatic system and the blood flows around your body to keep your brain active for the tasks you're doing at the moment. It may be another example in the fields of environment, where it'll say, Jules, we understand that you take the 205 bus route to work every day because it knows the areas that you're going. It'll say, we've identified an outbreak of allergens in the air, and because of the wind speed and direction, we suggest that you take an alternative mode of transport to work today, because if you catch public transport, we identify your immune system is at its lowest function right now, and you're likely to get sick or get the flu if you catch public transport. So these are the sorts of information, this is the interactive conversation that ph360 will be having with you in advance in a predictive, intuitive way without you even thinking about it. It's actually informing you about your health and about how to avoid any issues coming up, about how to navigate your day in real time as you go. And it talks to many different wearable devices like your Fitbit or your Apple Watch. And ph360 is really going to be positioned as one of the main softwares that's going to be with Apple and Samsung and Google in the future. So for those who are just hearing this for the first time, this is really, really exciting. I hope you understand the benefits of what you've actually signed up for as a founding member, because you guys get access to this for life. If you're not a lifetime member at this particular point in time, I'd really, really, really encourage you to take advantage of that right now, because that's not going to be around for much longer. And the way that we engage with this is going to be in a very different way. So if you're a lifetime member, you get all this forever. It's really phenomenal what's coming. So please take advantage of that, and please share this with your family and friends, because now is the most exciting time to be involved in this. I can't advise enough that you guys jump on this at 100 miles an hour while the opportunity's there. So please share this with family and friends again. And again, the whole reason why we're doing this is for you to find out what's right for you to be happy and healthy. So the format you see at the moment, all the information is there for you in ph360 about to change your life. For the interactive version, it's actually going to be a software that talks to you in advance without you even having to think about your health, to help you change and transition through those states that you're at. It'll even talk about, in a social circumstance, we have the developments that's underway about being able to talk to other people who have ph360 app engaged on their phone. And if you're in a different environment, you can actually engage with people with similar biotypes to you, where you know you're going to be able to hang out, and you might be able to send a message to people on your Facebook or other platforms at that particular point in time, where you can say, hey, I'm going to go hang out here, and other biotypes will know that you're going to go hang out here, and they can actually identify you. If you want to choose to pop your hand up and say, I'm happy for other biotypes to know, where I am in this time and space because I want to meet them, I'm going to go to this place, they can actually see where you are and go and meet with you. There's amazing things that are coming with ph360i. So it's really, really exciting. And we're super, super stoked to bring it to everybody. And I'm not sure if you've mentioned this, Jules, already, but we're actually having a crowdfunding campaign that's coming up just to help out with the last part of this, because as you can imagine, it's a very, very expensive process. Even the research that we're conducting, research is extremely expensive in these fields. A clinical trial in the field of neuroscience is about $100 million these days. Things are not cheap. So we're needing to make sure we're funding what we're doing to continue to do what we're doing. And we're having a crowdfunding campaign. If those that don't know about it, it's on a platform called Kickstarter. and it's where you can actually engage more in ph360, and we can help raise some funds towards finishing off the development of ph360i. So it means it comes sooner if you can help share that with your networks and family and friends. So I really encourage you guys to get behind what we're doing. And again, you're listening to this as your founding members, and I really appreciate, and we're so grateful for you being here. We talk about love at the start of this call, Jules, and we have so much love for the support and for the nurturing and for everything that you guys are doing and being involved in what we are here for. This is completely different to anything else that's out there. This isn't just a business. This isn't an app. This isn't anything like that. This is a way of life, and this is information that we're trying to bring out to the entire world. And our mission is to experience and influence every person on this planet so that they can understand more about how to be happy and healthy for them and their unique circumstances, because everybody in the world is different. There's not one single one of us that's the same. We're all 100% unique and 100% different. So that's why we're here, and we're really excited to be sharing about that, Jules. And there's so many different other examples that we can go into, but I know we're probably running out of time. But hopefully that gives you a bit of an insight about what's coming and how excited we are, and hopefully how excited you guys can be about being on board ph360 at this time. It's really cool.
That's awesome. Yes, I know when you're talking about that, a lot of people have wondered, like, is that like way out in the future or far away?
No, this is the idea. If everything goes according to plan, if you guys can get behind and support the crowdfunding, we're hoping to have this live by next year. So it's pretty soon. In fact, it's not something that's too far away. We've got a great little interim that's going to be coming out at some stage fairly soon, with some of the reminders that are coming to before ph360i is even fully launched and available. You'll notice that there's going to be some beta releases about these sorts of things as we go. And we've just recently released the beta for explaining the why behind your foods, which has been a huge project and a huge task to be able to say, you know, what's right for you and why you're having this food. Because we can have 10 different people who look the same, who act the same, who have tomatoes as a 3 smiley face that they can eat a couple of times a week. But the reasons why they have those are completely different for every single person. And so for us to be able to explain that to you individually is a huge project. And this will be an ongoing project probably forever, but we've got a really great start to that, and it's under the why section in your foods. So please take advantage of that if you want to, accept the beta version of that, and we're fine tuning that as we go with some of the language and some of the little typos that are there. But it's really exciting. So there's going to be a beta version coming out sometime soonish. I won't put a time on it because the tech often takes a little bit longer than what we'd hope, but fairly soonish, where we can release information about why some things are coming up in terms of times of day as well. So there'll be some prompts coming up about the best time to exercise. There'll be some prompts that will pop up on your phone, just in like a text reminder format about your best times for meals and other things like that. We'll be able to have conversations with you about these sorts of things before we actually even release ph360i. So that's coming in the near future as well, which is really exciting, and many other things along that line as well.
That is super exciting. I know we're a little over on time, you guys. I hope you're okay with us just talking for a couple more minutes. And if you need to go, that's okay too, but it's great having you. And so, Matt, this crowdfunding is getting ready to take place, and the dates for it are November 19th to December 19th. Is that correct?
I believe that's correct, Jules. Yeah, I know that November 19th is the launch date, and that's coming up in about 4 weeks' time. And it's going to be live for 30 days. And when we'll share that page with you when it's live. Jules, there may be a page where people can visit earlier. I'm not sure if that's live yet, but at some stage it will be soon if it's not already. And Jules will be able to share that with you and probably send you a nice little video as Jules does. And Jules is so amazing. Jules, I want to take this opportunity actually to say thank you so much for all the amazing work that you do. Jules is our VP of Experience. And I think anyone who's ever dealt with Jules certainly gets an amazing experience, whether it be this discovery series or some of the little videos you get. Jules has done lots of the work in lots of the different ways in ph360. And so, Jules, thank you so much for everything that you do and everything that you bring to ph360. I love how you make everybody feel so loved and so welcome and so appreciated, because that really is our intention that we want to get across. And I think you deliver that so well. So thank you, Jules, publicly in front of everyone in the world listening to this, for who you are and for all that you do. It's we appreciate it so much.
Thank you. That was really nice. Okay, so now back to the crowdfunding. When it's time, you guys, what we're going to do is I'm going to send out an email. It'll be from me, it'll have a video on it, but it'll also say it in words too for people that don't like to watch videos. That's okay too. And it'll give you some places where you can help and ways that you can get this out, because for us to spread this all around the world, we've got to spread it to so many people, and the more people that we can spread it to, we want to make it affordable for people, and so that they can participate and be part of it. You guys are our lifetime founding members, and that is something special that is truly ending this year. And so you are part of our foundation, the people that support us, and the people that are our base of, we could call it love and connection if you want to. Or you could call it, superseding mental thoughts if you want to. Whatever you like, it's good. So thank you so much for being here. I just want to say thanks, Matt. I want to say thank you to you for a couple of reasons. One is because you do tirelessly play, or whatever you want to call it, day and night. You and Rebecca both are the foundation of what we're creating here in ph360. And you guys are amazing. And again, it wouldn't be happening without you. So I can really say that about almost everybody, but really, truly, you guys are the heart and soul of the engine that we're running.
Thank you, Jules. It's very kind.
Yeah. So, all right, peeps. Thank you so much for being here. Matt and I have both loved sharing this with you. We'd love to have more talks like this with you. If this is something that you'd love to hear more from us, or if you want us to have like a monthly talk, or do something like that, let us know. We need to know these things, because we want to make sure that we're providing you with the most awesome experience ever. And that's my job, right? So just wanted to say we love you. Thank you so much for being you, and connect with us. You can connect with us. You can send me an email directly if you have any ideas or thoughts about anything. You can send it to jules@ph360.me. And we just want to say have a wonderful next few days. Be sure to join the summit if you haven't already, or listen to it if it's later than when you're listening to the replays. And we're looking forward to our future together. Right, Matt?
Absolutely, Jules. So thank you for sharing that. And thank you so much for all of you for being here on this amazing discovery series that Jules has put together. And it really is such an exciting time. We cannot achieve a world free from pain and disease without you, and without you sharing this with family and friends and loved ones. So we really, really encourage you to share. And thank you so much for being part of this amazing community. It's what it is. You end up here because you engaged in ph360, but it's so much more than just a platform as to what we're here for. So this is a family. We're here for you. We do all these sessions for you. We do the health summit for you. All of this is all free. We're just here for you to give you so much information, so much education, enlightenment, whatever it is that you're looking for. So please let us know what you want from us. We'd love to deliver whatever you need. This is why we're here. So please keep in touch with us, whether it's comments coming through on the chat now, whether it's emails to support@ph360.me, however it is you'd like to engage on the Facebook page, on the forum, whatever it is, please let us know about all this sort of stuff, because we are just here for you, and that's how we're going to achieve our mission, is being here for you and having you share this with people. So thank you so much for everything. Thank you for giving up your time or investing your time into your own health and happiness, and look forward to seeing you again sometime very soon.
That's right. So good night, goodbye, good day.
Bye.